inside another dimension, face battling barbarians and evil magic on a quest for adventure in a maze of monsters. Once you get into it, you'll never be the same. Hero Quest. Now, with 2 new adventure packs, the legend grows.
Hi, welcome back to Not Your Mother's Hobbies. Today we're going to look at our first ogre of the Ogre Horde. I'm going to call this the Ogre Mercenary to differentiate it just a little bit from the female ogres. I feel we can break this up a bit. We have male and female ogres. Then there's the Ogre Mercenary available in the game, Ogre Warriors, etc. We're going to break it up and spread out the Ogre love. Put that out of the way. We're going to give this guy an Ogryn look, like 40k Ogryn. You've seen it before, but we're going to go in depth, so let's go. Alright, here we're starting up with Black Templar around for his belts. Just the belt around his waist, and the one that goes across his chest like a bandolier. Just to break up some of the browny colors we're going to have going on all over his body. To differentiate some things, we're going to get a couple little guys going all around. So starting up with Black Templar for the bandolier and his belt. Gorgrunta fur for a nice warm brown all around his skirting. And we're just going to be quick and dirty, you might even say a little lazy. And we're going to paint this all over, even the metal parts along the skirting and the bolts and whatnot on that tacet he has going on. We're just going to go all around there and save our precision painting for these little details here near the bones and the skulls and the teeth. You don't want to forget also he's got some wrappings around his weapon near the handle and up here on the head of that jawbone weapon he's got going. We're going to use wildwood as another leather kind of color to break up the monotony we got going on. We're going to use this for the ropes and straps on the skulls and the little dangly necklace pieces, as well as the tie on his top knot. So just go around finding all those lashes and loops and leathers and get those in the dark wildwood for yourself. Basilicanum Gray, as usual, using this one for our steel blocking. Any of our steel metals, our iron metals, whatever have you, the gray metals, we're going to use Basilicanum on these. Going all around. His bandoliers, got chains on it, he's got a pauldron, he's got some little spikes and doodads and decorations all around. If you ended up not covering up those with brown, either way, you can choose to block them in for yourself. We have Skeleton Horde for all the bone, and we're also going to use this for the fur. So any of the fur trim and all of the bone accents we're going to just go over with the Skeleton Horde. And if you've already done that Gorgrunta skirting, you can be very messy when applying it to the skulls, as it's not going to take over, right? That darker wildwood and stuff is much more strong or much stronger, and so you can just apply this right over top without worry. We have Talisar Blue. We're going to use this for his little top knot, his little hair piece, make it kind of fun and interesting and punky. You could use any color up there, but I find like really bright, colorful fluorescence or saturated colors work really good on this kind of thing. Volupus Pink, this is going to be our skin base. We're going to base him all in this pinky red sunburnt color all around. Get all of his skin. He's a big fleshy boy, and just hit him all over the place. Get his biceps, his back, those huge lats, those meaty hands and feet. Get all of his dogs. Get his face. His scars, his wounds, his chest, all over the place. Don't forget his belly either. He's got a belly that's hidden underneath. And if he's zenithalled, you might just forget. Don't forget. Alright, now we're coming in with those metallics. We're going to use gunmetal to base all of our steels. That's all the trim here. And you can see, even though we didn't base it with Basilicanum, it's easy enough to color with a layer or two, cover it all up nicely, and it's going to blend in totally fine. Nobody's going to miss it. So just go in there and hit all of the skirting decorations, the big bolts and rivets. He's got some screws on his belts. He's got this chain around his chest, some spikes and stuff. Just hit all those things with your metallics. And remember, you don't have to hit all of it. since we've base coated most of it, if you've been following along, most of it with our basilicanum. And then we just go around and hit it with a dark shade with a gloss mixed in, or you can do a one coat and then the other of a dark tone and then a gloss coat on top to blend in all those metallics and all those shades and just have it looking real homogeneous. Then we're going to use Wraithbone up in here and get all those little bony bits highlighted up and base coated and what have you. We get those mid-tones in there, brighten them up, get the details shining. We're just going to go all over those bony bits you did with the Skeleton Horde. You don't need to do the fur if you don't want to. I didn't on this, and it sped things up quite a bit by just having a final highlight later on. But you can get those teeth if it helps you pick them out for later. I found it helped me out quite a bit. So just go around and get all those bones, the skulls, and the teeth, and what have you, all those little bits. We got Bugman's Glow. This is going to be our first skin highlight, or I guess our mid-tone. We're bringing it back. We're smoothing it out, getting a fleshy look going on in here. You can see cleaning up some of the zenithal that might have gotten missed, adding in some details, smoothing out any streaking, and getting a nice base going for the rest of our highlights. This is smoothing out our mid-tone, I guess. When you have that, we're doing Cadian Flesh Tone for our first highlight. And this is going to see, you'll see that it's going to flesh him up a lot more. You might think, oh, he's looking real pink. There's no way this is going to work. It totally will. Just trust the process. Trust the process. And just go nice and easy blending it in. One layer at a time. Hit that Cadian up. You can see we're being pretty blocky with it too. Nice large chunks. But it's going to smooth him out. It's going to bring a nice fleshiness to him. He's going to look real good. Real Ogryn-y. Real sunburned and tanned, I guess. Like a mutant tan, I think. So here you can see we're putting Gulliman flesh into those big grooves. He's got a lot of awesome sculpted detail in him, especially these huge scars all across his shoulder and back. We're using Gulliman flesh to just fill that in. All right, Chrome. This is going to finish up our metallics. You're going to hit all those tiny little rivets and screws he's got in his belts and in his tasset, as well as adding some highlight pings on the decorations on the skirting and his belt and the chain across his chest and that armor. Quite a few little spots, but it shouldn't take you that long and shouldn't be that difficult. We're using Bold Titanium White. And this is where we're going to hit the fur trim, all the fur all around. It's such a bright white that I felt like, you know what, we can skip that Wraithbone and just go straight to it. And I was right. It gave it a nice increased contrast and made that fur trim really bright and stand out. You can also see here I'm popping in some teeth, and you can do that too. We're also going to put in some little ping highlights on his hair. Kislev Flesh, this is our final highlight on that skin, and this is what's really going to get it set apart and set in stone as a fleshy skin. You're going to see it's going to brighten him up a lot. We're halfway there with that Cadian. You can already see it's getting fleshier and fleshier and less pink. And with this Kislev on top, this is what's going to seal the deal. You'll see it's coming in and making it a lot more like real flesh. Especially on this shoulder, you can see how much it changes that look. So just continue the process, trust the process, and boom, you see this gets a nice kind of sunburny flesh going on. And we finish our basing like normal with a gray paint, texture paint, dry brush, a wash, and a dry brush. And there you have it. We have an Ogre Mercenary or Ogre Warrior. I'm going to say Mercenary in this case, all finished up in that kind of 40k Ogryn sunburned peachy skin color. I don't know what else to call it. I've seen a bunch of Ogryn in 40k looking real sunburned, real peachy, real mutant flesh. And this is how you can do that. I really like these upgraded ogres. I like that they went with new ogres for the warriors in this. They updated the style instead of just using the same ones that they had already released from Mage in the Mirror. It's really cool that they went with new sculpts, unique sculpts to kind of give you more variation. Now you have, all kinds of different ogres going on, and the sculpts are really awesome in this expansion. They really knocked it out of the park, I'd say, with regard to the ogres specifically, although the goblins are a close second. But here you go, you can see our classic yellow ogre that I like to do, looking real slick. Here's the side-by-side. You can see kind of how that would look. You can decide for yourself if you want to mix them up or if you want to just only do the yellow one if you like that better. Up next, we're going to do the Ogre Warrior, which I'm going to classify for the female sculpt, and we'll try to do some more skin tones with that and show what we can get going on. I hope you liked this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of the ogres, how you're painting your ogres. If you're going to use any of this for any 40k Ogryn, right, or any Age of Sigmar kind of giant kin or anything like that, what are you working on? What projects do you have in the wings? Or are you all aboard on the Hero Quest train? You got to ride it all the way to Jungles of Delthrak Station. If you want to support in other ways, we do have our Patreon. Check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!